Welcome to M9 Prime Gaming. I'm here to talk about the Matrix Awakens. It was a demo released around December 2021 to coincide with the movie of Matrix Resurrections. This is a really nice piece of tech. It starts off like a movie, and you got Keanu Reeves, you got Carrie-Anne Moss. They're all talking about everything like the Matrix, and this is basically a marketing demo, so it's kind of has some moments in it that are kind of cringy, but I mean, they're trying to be funny, and I guess it's just not working. At least in my eyes, it's not. What is unfortunate is this demo is no longer available to the wider audience. I think you can still get it on PC if you find a place that is hosting it and it's kind of bootleg. But if you have an Xbox or a PlayStation 5, you cannot download this from the store. If you do have it in your library, you can still play it. I played this in the beginning of March, so it is not locked out like online lockout. It's just locked out if you just can't get it if you don't have it already. If it's in your library and it's deleted off your console, then it's also gone. Like, there's no way to download this legally right now from Epic or the PlayStation or the Xbox stores. Now you see the scenes right here. They're trying to mix real actors with fake CG ones, and it does look impressive, especially on a big TV if you're far away. But if you know what you're looking for, you can tell the first Keanu here was fake, and then this is the real Keanu Reeves. And it's just the life. They're very close to lifelike, but it's not lifelike. This scene was very famous in the first Matrix movie, and this might look a little bit like, you can definitely tell it's computer generated, but on the same at the same time, I think this probably looks better than the actual movie if you go back to watch it now. At the time, it was very impressive what they did with the CG, and they did a lot of live action stuff. So I think that scene was actually done with Keanu Reeves on wires, and then they used the 360 cameras, like all the cameras around, to make the thing go around. But they did not have the tech to make the bullets look really good with the CG, because this is, what is this, the late 90s, early thousands. The CG just wasn't there. So this probably looks better than the first movie could in terms of the CG, but again, it's fake actors and it's not the actual people in this car scene. It's rendered. It is approximation by computer, and it is done very well. This demo wasn't just for the movie, it was also to demo Unreal Engine 5, which is the new tech. There's not many games that use Unreal Engine 5 yet. I mean, it is April right now. April 2024, I think there's a handful of games that are using Unreal 5, but most games are using Unreal 4 still. In this scene in the car, Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss are actual actors. This third actor that you get to play as is actually to show off how capable the engine is of creating their own actors. And this scene right here where she says Unreal and she looks at the camera, I thought that was very cringy. Sorry to get off topic. So the lady in the back, she is completely made up. That is not a real person. It's not based off a real person. I'm not too sure if the voice is computer generated, but the character is 100% fictional. There's not a person that they scan to get that person. And you know what? It still looks really good. And this is mostly on rails. Like, it is 100% on rails, so it looks very impressive, but the on rails part might make it less impressive. And all you're really doing here is flicking the left stick to go between points you can shoot, and then hitting the right trigger, or R2, and you're shooting stuff out. And this is all generated in real time, so you can shoot things at the pace you want, in the order you want. There is no scripting here, apart from stuff is coming at you, until the very end of the scene. So, like, this moment, I think, always happens at one point, but just when you get there, you never know. The whole demo, from what I remember during marketing, the marketing materials, was supposed to be real time. Nothing here is supposed to be baked, which means nothing here, all the explosions, everything that's happening was rendered in real time and calculated in real time. This obviously was rendered in real time, but it was scripted. The only scene when it comes to destructions that is not pre-rendered, but basically isn't done by the engine, it is done by animators. It's still rendered in real time, but it's not, the physics are not real time, is the very end of this car chase where the helicopter that you see up there blows up. So all this traffic, all this stuff is supposed to be dynamic. I'm sure it's a little bit scripted just to get the driving, but in terms of where the cars are driving in front of you with the bad guys, like, I mean, if you don't shoot them, they'll just keep going. So it's not like it's, you know, the car has to die. It's not like the way Uncharted does it, where you're doing a big action sequence, and to make sure you are not going to fail it, it slows things down or speeds them up depending on where you are in the scene. This is supposed to be all happening as you're playing. Now, I know I am talking over this whole video, which is annoying, but I will upload this video itself without any commentary. Check that out. I'll probably have it up on Thursday or Friday of this week. So if this video comes out on Monday, the same week, you'll see the rest of the commentary or the video come with no commentary on top that you can just watch and enjoy, because it is a stunning piece of technology. I mean, this is running on a PlayStation 5 and it looks fantastic. It is something like when someone new comes over and says, "Oh, I've never tried the PS5 out, what should I try?" I throw this on. It's a quick demo. It looks impressive, and it's a lot of action. It just gets the point across, and I wish people that just picked up the PS5 could still experience this. It's very unfortunate that they are not able to. The only way you can experience this now is through a video or on a PC by downloading it from not official means. So this scene right here, this was kind of baked. Like, the rendering's still real, but the destruction you see is not happening in real time. But it still looks very impressive. And the other part that's very impressive about the demo is the fact that they just throw you in the city and you can walk around, move around, and see the tech behind it. This is really a tech demo. This is probably a perfect tech demo in my opinion. So here, after you finish the chase scene and all the action's over, which was very impressive, it's kind of showing you all the good features of the Unreal Engine 5 that are just baked in. And you just hit X to toggle the visualization changes that they're talking about, which is probably the most impressive part. So you can see how the computer is working under the hood in terms of how it's choosing to render and how it's doing everything. Like here, just changing from day to night with the press of a button. That is very impressive. And as you'll see further on, you can actually change the time of day by just moving the sun around. They've done it so well, where the shadows are real time. The lighting is supposed to be real time. And this is the nanite technology that was brand new, where things that are closer to you seem to have more detail, and as things go further away, the detail is lessened. So the rendering is not as intensive. So you're not rendering everything in the background. Those are more blocky, and as you get closer, it blends it into the high detail stuff, which lets you make very impressive scenes. Like you can see here, all the little triangles when I go into the color mode, and then parts that are flat or bigger triangles. Not everything is the same size, which is very, I think is very cool. Also, you get to go and change the traffic. There's a bunch of menus they give you. They make it look like an old Macintosh OS or an old Windows kind of file menu, where you have sliders where you can change the density of the traffic, the density of the crowds, and then you have these signposts here that actually you can read, and they tell you all about what's happening. But there's also certain ones in this video, you'll see it. I'll actually do it later on. I'll cut to it in a bit, but where you can change it from day to night, because they don't give you that option in the actual menu. You have to find the pose. So if you just go into this and you don't look around, you don't look at the map, and you don't check out those circles, the orange and yellow circles, then you won't get to experience that in real time. Whereas here in this menu, you have a lot of options. And like, you can drive the cars, you can fly around, go up and down. But I think the coolest thing is just changing the rotation of the sun, and you can see the shadows moving in real time. And it just looks like basically a time-lapse video where it's all in real time. This is not time-lapse. It's not like I just stood there and waited for everything and then sped up the video. In here, you just move the rotation of the sun and it changes the way the scene looks entirely. And you can see you have crowd control, traffic control, and park cars. And then the different visualizations. So here you can see how what the engine sees the cars. And they also have the Matrix filter. I personally like it because it makes it feel like the Matrix. But if you turn off the Matrix filter, everything looks more lifelike, I would say. They're both great looks. It's just depends what you're going for. What would have been cool too is if you go into the fly mode, you are just a bodiless entity. You're just flying the camera around. The character disappears entirely. It'd be cool to do like a Matrix style fly, or like Neo. But then I guess if you're not moving, then they haven't really showed that in the movies. Like, Neo doesn't just float, he flies. He doesn't just float there like Superman, so I guess that's probably why. And it was probably because they were trying to get this demo out as soon as possible for the movie. I feel like they did rush a couple things. It's just to show off. And this right here, I think, is so impressive. So you have like two bigger city centers and a smaller city. And this is all rendered in real time. Like, I know it's running only 30 frames per second. I don't think 60 is something you can get in this engine at the time. I'm sure there will be games that will come at 60, but I'm thinking a lot will be at 30. And just like the level of detail is so impressive here. And then here I will start moving the sun around, and you can just see the shadows move. The skybox moves as one big thing. So that part's not impressive, but if you look at the city, the shadows, they're all moving the way you expect. So it looks very natural. It is a step up from what we've seen. And if the sun's behind you or in front of you, you get the different look. Like when the sun's in your eyes, you get all that glare and it's hard to see. And then when it's off to the side, you can make out more details because it's not blinding you. Like, it's just, I'm just so impressed by this demo. And I'm so sad that anyone that's just starting out in the ecosystem of PlayStation or Xbox can't experience this. No, it's not just flying around and moving around. You can also drive vehicles in this game, or this demo, I should say. And the driving is not the greatest. It feels all right, but it's not like really refined. The crashes, I mean, there's no damage really. Like, the fact that you're going under cars, like, yeah, this is a sports car, but like the way you crash into stuff is very unrealistic. The actual physics of the driving doesn't feel good. It works, it's okay, but I wouldn't consider this great. But I'm sure that's just something that could be done on the back end in other games, no problem. And like how the car just went over top of me. Like, yeah, it's got destruction on the model, but it's not this like the kind of destruction that is like precise. Like a game like Wreckfest probably has better destruction than this. And I'm sure this, I mean, for a demo, it's pretty impressive, but for what it, like, as a game, I'm sure they would have to refine that. If there's a small driving section, I'm sure it'll work just fine, but if a game is revolving around driving, like a Grand Theft Auto, which I know they use their own engine, they would have to really work on the level of destruction and the way the cars feel. There are a couple cars you can drive, and they all feel different. Like a sports car will go faster, this one will go slower, because, I mean, it's a sedan. Pedestrians are basically not, you can't touch them. You can drive over them, and they just right there disappear and appear as if nothing happened. They're part of the Matrix, which is a nice feature because, oh, this is the Matrix, this isn't real. You're not killing people, you're not destroying anything, you're just there and experiencing it, so they can make things disappear and reappear. And the fact that the pedestrians aren't affected by your actions, so they don't jump out of the way or anything like that. They're just there. If you drive through them, you drive through them. And I mean, it just shows off the crowd density. It doesn't show off the AI. That's why I think if games are using Unreal 5, and especially open world games, if they want to look this pretty, you're not going to get over 30 frames per second on standard consoles like the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. The S might even struggle a little bit more, because that AI processing will take away power from everything else that's happening. It's basically a heavy engine. It looks great, but it is doing a lot, and the more you add to it, the more processing power you need, and the CPUs just might not be able to figure all that out. And I do think it's also very impressive. Like, all the signs are legible. Nothing is to the point where you can't read it. The glass and the reflections, they all look great. It's all real time. I mean, it looks fantastic. There's not much to do. You can be in there for 5-10 minutes and you're probably done with it. But it is a visual masterpiece. And again, if you have someone coming over that's like, I want to see the best of the best, I want to see what this can do, without playing an in-depth game with lots of systems and like explaining why this game can't happen on the old systems because they can't do so and so. This is a great showpiece to be like, look what this can do. It's shiny, it's pretty, it works. Just look. And it really gets the message across what you can do in this and these new systems compared to the PS4 and Xbox One, like PS4 era stuff. This would not be doable on those. Now we are coming up to the end of the video here. This is one of those plaques I was talking about earlier in the video that actually enables night vision, or night mode I should say. Here you can turn on nighttime, so the sun goes away and it's nighttime. And you still have all of the functions that you had of basically daytime. You can drive cars, you can fly around, you can look around. And like, look at it, it looks fantastic. It looks like nighttime. Everything on the other side of the river is obviously not somewhere you can go. You're stuck in the city limits. It's still a big city. I mean, this does feel like Spider-Man 2 big. I know there's only one island, but like, you can go anywhere here. You're not swinging around interacting, but it is still a very big city. And the fact that you can just turn the lights on and off like that is very impressive. And then just push a button and you're back to daytime. And the fact that it says experimental is probably a big reason why they weren't able to put it in the menus, because it basically this is a way of them showing like, this works, but it might not work. Like, there might be some glitches and stuff, and I haven't seen any glitches personally, but I haven't tried to look at every little thing in detail, go right up to every window and make sure the reflections are perfect. But I mean, just looking at it quickly, so impressive just to be in nighttime and seeing the windows light up and seeing the cars drive through with the headlights, and it looks so good. And here, like, it's also very impressive that some of these windows are blacked out, but some of them are actual apartments where you can look inside. So they've done extra stuff inside, like in these models. I don't know if this was all hand done or procedurally generated, but it still is very impressive to look at. And like, this is a really big city. Like, you could have a lot going on. I wonder if they're gonna actually license this out at any point or do anything with it, or did they just create this whole city for this demo? Like, I haven't seen anything happen with it yet. It's 2024. This was released at the end of 2021, so it's been at least 2 years and nothing's come of it. So probably it's just gonna stick in this demo. We might see pieces here and there, because I know some of these assets are supposed to be available to Unreal users, so people that are programming, because there's an asset library, and I'm sure that has been used somewhere, but the actual map itself, I haven't seen anyone use it or it come up anywhere else. And I listen to a lot of games media, so I'm sure someone would have mentioned it, because that would have been really cool news. And the fact there isn't too many Unreal Engine 5 games yet could be that there is one in the pipeline that will have all this stuff, but again, there's also a chance that there won't be. So this is as far as I'm going to be talking. I don't have much more to say other than if you have a friend with this demo and you haven't played it, just check it out. Go to their house and like just be like, can I play that Matrix Awakens demo? Because it looks fantastic. Other than that, I'm gonna let this play out. I'm just flying around, looking around. Enjoy the scenery, enjoy the view, and just look how impressive this whole thing is, because there's nothing like this anywhere on the system yet. Spider-Man 2 comes close, but the amount of control you have in this demo, or this marketing piece for the Matrix Resurrections movie, is fantastic. And the fact that this came out at the end of 2021 and it looks this good is a testament to how good Unreal Engine can be. Yes, I am sad that there's no more proprietary engines. Like Grand Theft Auto still uses I think the Rage engine. I don't know if GTA 6 will use that. Even CD Projekt Red is no longer using their in-house engine. I think they're switching over to Unreal for their next game. So Unreal is here to stay, and you could see why it's gonna be probably very, very popular, because it can do a lot. But I do fear that the 60 FPS games that we've been used to are no longer going to be available to us unless there are pro consoles, which right now there is rumors of them. And actually Digital Foundry, as of this month, did a video on the specs that are supposed to be there, where the CPU is roughly the same and the GPU is better with some upscaling. Or not upscaling, but frame generation AI or upscaling. I'm not sure which AI system they're using on the PS5 Pro, but I still don't think that they can do a nice 60 frames per second on something of this scale, even on a Pro console. I think this will be, and when the PS6 comes out, we'll be able to do Unreal Engine 5 with 60 frames per second and ray tracing and everything on. But right now I know there's going to be some shortcomings. This demo looks fantastic, but again, a lot of systems are not in play. There's no collision with the pedestrians. There's no AI for the pedestrians. They're just pathed simply. They're not dynamic. The cars don't really react to you that much. They're just driving. Yes, they follow traffic, but it's not like you can, make them go. Like here, the car just stops and waits for you. When you get out of the way, it keeps going, or you crash into it. It doesn't want to go around you like in Grand Theft Auto. It's just there. So anyways, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment if you can. Let me know if you like this kind of stuff or you don't like this kind of stuff. Just thank you for watching again, and enjoy this. Hopefully you get to experience it for yourself with a controller. If not, look later in this week and I'll have the video without any talking, just gameplay, and then you can feel free to use that if you need to. All right, happy gaming.